How's it going, everybody? It's Tuesday, October the 6th. Let's go over what happened in week 4 of NFL football, and let's dive right in. Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks are 4-0 for the first time since their Super Bowl season in 2013 as they beat Miami 31-23. Then Baltimore beat the Washington football team 31-17. Carolina at 2-2, and they knock Arizona down to 2-2 as they win 31-21 in Carolina. The Rams beat the Giants 17-9. Minnesota knocked poor Houston down to 0-4. Minnesota, the Vikings getting their first win. Bill O'Brien fired as Houston's coach and general manager. Just a complete mess down there in Houston. Deshaun Watson put up pretty decent numbers in the loss, but still just a complete mess of. Frankly, I thought Houston not only would win the South, but compete for the AFC Championship, and they are just a mess at 0-4, and no signs that it's going to get any better now with Bill O'Brien fired as head coach and as general manager. And Drew Brees and the Saints get the 35-29 win over the Detroit Lions. And the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow gets his first win as an NFL quarterback over the Jacksonville Jaguars, 33-25. Burrow had a good game. Gardner Minshew had a pretty good game as well. But the victor goes to Spurs. Joe Burrow gets his first NFL win. The Philadelphia Eagles get their first win against a pretty banged up Niners team, but the Eagles get the win 25-20. Then last night, the Chiefs get the Patriots 26-10, and Packers beat the Falcons 30-16. And now let's take a look at the 4 games that I think shaped Week 4. You got Indianapolis at Chicago, and to be honest, I'm really walking away with this impressed by the Colts and that defense. Nick Foles, to me, and anybody who's going to say that, this doesn't prove Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky could have done just as good a job as Nick Foles. No. I'm sorry. If Mitch Trubisky had been out there for Chicago, it would have been a lot worse of a beatdown than what the Colts did put on the Bears. And yes, the Colts dominated the game. I'm not trying to say that they didn't, because they shut down Nick Foles and the Bears offense. It was pretty evenly matched defensive wise, but I think the Colts got the first touchdown midway through the first quarter, or their only touchdown of the game, I should say. Then Rodrigo Blankenship, he hit 4 out of 4 field goals, giving the Bears a 19-3 lead. The Bears would finally score a touchdown. Nick Foles hit a 16-yard touchdown pass and would get a 2-point conversion. But of course, the worst onside kick rules in NFL history don't give many teams a chance unless you're the Dallas Cowboys. So the Colts would recover it, run out the clock. But really, other than that last drive, the Colts dominated. And but anybody who tries to say that Mitch Trubisky would have done just as good that's pretty laughable. Foles did have a solid day passing against pretty much the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. He was 26 of 42, 249 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. He actually outplayed Phillip Rivers, other than the 1 interception. Rivers was 16 of 29, 190 yards, and he did have the 1 touchdown. But either way, kudos to the Colts defense. That team's a lot better than I thought they would be. I actually had the Colts finishing 3rd in the AFC South behind Houston and Tennessee. How wrong I was on that one. At least about Houston. I'm still impressed with Tennessee, and I think those are going to be two very good games between the Colts and the Titans. Um, but with the way the Colts are playing defense, I would have to give the edge to the Colts right now. Um, just by the way they're playing D right now. Um, but going forward, we'll see how things go. I do think they're going to have to get the passing game cleaned up with Rivers. He is turning the ball over a little bit too much. Now, he was actually very good and very careful in this game against a very good Bears defense. The Bears defense did a very good job of shutting down the Colts offense. Once, the Bears bent but didn't break. Anytime you hold a team to 4 field goals rather than 2 or 3 touchdowns, you're doing your job. But the Colts defense was better. That's just, they outplayed the Bears D today, or yesterday, and that's how it shaped up. So anyways, the Colts get the win 19-11. All right, next we go down to Tampa Bay, where the Bucks got their first comeback win, or the GOAT gets his first comeback win in a Tampa Bay uniform. Justin Herbert and the Chargers played great. They just come up short in this one. Chargers jumped all over the Bucks, leading 24-7 right before the half. But Tom Brady was not going to go. They said, we're not going in down 17. They would drive down the field, and Brady would hit Mike Evans for a touchdown pass to cut the lead to 24-14 going into the half. The Bucks did come out and score the next 2 touchdowns, giving them a 28-24 lead going into the fourth quarter, I believe. Yep, that's right. And then Justin Herbert, would give the LA Chargers the lead back on the last play of the third quarter, giving the Chargers a 31-28 lead going into the fourth quarter. Excuse me on that. But after Herbert's touchdown on the last play of the third quarter to give the LA Chargers the 31-28 lead, Brady would throw his 5th touchdown pass of the day to give the Bucks the lead for good. Ryan Suckup would kick another field goal to make it 38-31, and that would end up being the final as the Bucks get the 38-31 win. But a great game out of both of these quarterbacks. You look at the numbers. Tom Brady, 30 of 46, 369 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 pick. And Justin Herbert, including me, a lot of people thought he was going to be a surefire bust. And, I mean, just because you have a couple of good games doesn't mean you're not. But it doesn't mean... To me, he's already exceeded expectations. I didn't think he would do this, and so far he has blown my expectations out of the water, is what I'm trying to say. 20 of 25, 290 yards, and 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Really impressed with him. Just great job by him. The Chargers seen something that nobody else did. Just really great. Ronald Jones, running back for the Bucks, 20 carries, 111 yards, and Big Mike Evans, receiver for the Tampa Bay Bucks, 7 catches, 122 yards, and a touchdown. But Tom Brady and the Bucks starting to get rolling, down 17 right before the half, and coming back and getting the win. Brady 5 touchdowns. The Bucks looking like they're for real now. A lot of people were ready to throw them in the dumpster after that Week 1 loss to the Saints. I kind of felt everybody was overreacting a little bit, especially with that Bucks defense. And even with the 31 points, one of them was a Brady pick 6. So that's something the GOAT does need to work on. I don't know if it's just the routes that the Bruce Arians offense calls for, or if it's the positions. I don't know. But, with James Winston, it was a problem, and now with Tom Brady, it's a problem. So, I don't know. It's never been a big problem from Brady before, so we'll have to look and see. But either way, the Bucks looking more and more for real. O.J. Howard, tight end for the Bucks. Torrey's tore something up in his knee. Not sure. I think it was an ACL. He's done for the rest of the year. But the Bucks moved to 3-1. I think the LA Chargers fall to 0-4, and they'll move on. And Bucks look like they're for real. And now we move on to Dallas versus Cleveland, and Cleveland might be another team that's for real. In Dallas, they waste another big game from Dak. Looked good for Dallas early. They were up 14-7 in the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, everything looking good, and then Cleveland outscored Dallas 24-0 in the second quarter, going into taking a 31-14 lead into the half. They would add 10 more in the third, making it 41-14 going into the fourth quarter. Dallas would try to make a little comeback as they usually do, but just too big of a margin of too big of a lead for Cleveland, as Dallas would fall short again, 49-38. Dak, huge numbers, 41 of 58, 502 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Elliott was pretty quiet, 12 carries, 54 yards. Mari Cooper had 12 catches, 134 yards and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb had 5 catches, 79 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield was 19 for 30, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns. Let's see. Odell Beckham Jr., to me, was the star of this game. He had 2 rushes for 73 yards and a touchdown. He had 5 catches, 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He spread them out. Just an unreal job. And then D'Ernest Johnson had 13 carries for 95 yards for running game for the Browns. And then Kareem Hunt, 11 carries, 71 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, look, the Browns are starting to figure it out. Run the ball, work off the play action. With the weapons they've got, they can be lethal. Landry Jones, I think he threw one of the touchdown passes to Odell Beckham Jr. Cleveland is not short on talent by no means. So it's going to be interesting going forward to see them in Pittsburgh and Baltimore kind of battle it out. I know Baltimore just slacked Cleveland in the first game of the year. But Cleveland may be a different team than they were back then in week 1. So we'll have to see how things turn out. I'm kind of a little bit worried about Baltimore. Obviously, they have a dynamic run game and play action pass game, but something just seems to be missing from Lamar Jackson. I don't think he's as I don't know, something just seems a little bit off from his game last year, and maybe I'm overlooking or reacting to something or missing something, or maybe I'm just not respecting his game enough. Maybe that's it. All these guys are putting up great numbers passing, and he's not. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I'm just not seeing the big plays we saw out of Lamar last year. But either way, wasted opportunity for Dallas. Dak just putting up these killer numbers, and Dallas is 1-3. Luckily for them, everybody in the NFC East is terrible. I think they're all 1-3. You've got the Washington football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, the New York football Giants. They're 0-4 at least. So you've got a 3-way tie for first and third, and then the Giants sit there at 0-4. So at least Dallas is not out of the playoffs. But if they make the playoffs with this horrible defense they have, they will not go far. But the news. Cleveland looks like they're for real, but they do play in one of the toughest divisions in football. So we shall see where the Browns go from here. All right, and last but not least, we've got the Buffalo Bills and the Las Vegas Raiders playing in that beautiful palace in Las Vegas. Uh, and Buffalo does it again. Um, Same way as they always do. Early, Josh Allen throws 2 touchdown passes, gives them the lead, 14-3. They'd kick a field goal. Las Vegas fights back. It's 17-16 going into the fourth quarter, and Buffalo scores 2 touchdowns, misses an extra point. Either way, Buffalo and Josh Allen, they're 4-0. They get the win, 30-23 over Las Vegas, and they just keep finding a way. Even though they'll jump out to a nice little lead, the other team will fight back, and then the Bills put it away. They just keep finding a way, and that's what I love about this Bills team. You look, Josh Allen, 24-34, 288 yards and 2 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs had 115 yards receiving, no touchdowns in this game. Then you had Cole Beasley. He had 3 catches, I think, for 32 yards and a touchdown. So you didn't have Allen crack the 300 or 400 yard game like he did the past couple weeks, but still, uh, you know, once the game was on the line, the Bills cranked it back up, scored the 2 touchdowns to put the game out of reach. The Vegas would score again to cut it to a single touchdown, but the Bills would put it away. And the Bills are 4-0. And that's not many people thought that you would be able to say that at this point. I hate it for the Las Vegas Raiders. After a 2-0 start, they are now 2-2. Derek Carr broke Kenny Stabler's team record for touchdown passes. Derek Carr now owns that record at 151. He was 32 of 44 for 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he has still not thrown an interception yet this season. Delaney Waller, 9 catches for 88 yards. I'm so sorry. I'm so tongue-tied this last one. Gosh, I don't know what's wrong with me. But either way, I'm not going to drag this out too much longer. The Buffalo Bills, either way, they're 4-0. They get the win. Las Vegas, they fall to 2-2. And now we're going to get to see, we got the first quarter of this great NFL season done. 2020 looking to be good. Sadly, we've had the Titans and the Steelers postponed till week 7. We almost had the Chiefs-Patriots canceled. It was kind of tarnished a little bit because we didn't get to see the Patriots with Cam Newton. I don't think it would have made that much of a difference. Speaking, the Chiefs won 26-10. And that's not a knock on Cam. That's just how great the Chiefs are, I believe. But either way, we've got another 3 quarters of the season left, and it's a great time to be a football fan. Major League Baseball, the division series getting underway, and that's what I'm about to do. Go watch some Braves, fillet some fish, hopefully. So until then, next time, God bless, take care, peace.